Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Now, day number 31 as we are reading the 40 chapters of Exodus across the 40 days of Lent, now starting the final 10 chapters. Yesterday's video was a little bit longer, and today's chapter is a little bit shorter, and so maybe the video will be shorter as well. I think tomorrow's chapter is one of the most robust chapters in all of Exodus, and so that video might be longer. So we'll see if we can help the mean time by keeping this one shorter. So as there's been all of this regarding the various elements to the construct of the tabernacle, including the building, the features, the characteristics, the design, its furniture, its vessels, and even the priesthood and things like that. The first half of this chapter deals with those that various artisans, various craftsmen and tradesmen who are going to be able to work and be able to do all of this. In fact, it's very interesting, and it says that Bezalel it has been filled with the Spirit of God to know how to be this master craftsman. Being filled with the Spirit of God is something that is quite a New Testament form of expression. It rarely is found in the Old Testament at all. However, here, of course, it is found here very uniquely in Exodus chapter 31. Those who are working to build the temple, or excuse me, the tabernacle, the antecedent of the temple, and these various tradesmen, craftsmen, are not only going to build the structure and dealing with the wood, the stone, but also the gold, the silver, the bronze. They're also going to be responsible for weaving the garments for the priests, as well as working with securing the anointing oil and things of that nature. And so here, the sacred task and function is not only given to the priests, but also to those that are supporting the entire infrastructure. And it's not just the Levites. The priests come from the tribe of Levi, and the Levites help out in the temple, the tabernacle, although they're not priests themselves. Not all the Levites are priests. Those from Aaron's family of the Levites are priests, and they carry out sacred function. The rest of the tribe, the Levites, carry out a function that assists in the tabernacle. But then all these craftsmen, tradesmen, and artisans are going to come from a variety of tribes, and what they are doing is very sacred. And so, as much as sometimes we see the priest as functioning in an extra holy way, all the support staff is functioning in a holy way. The entire community, as I've said in these other videos, are to consider themselves in a sacred vocation. And so, as I've discussed this within our paradigm of Christianity, of the church, and as I have asserted that really the priest is no more inherently holier than anybody else, their function is holy. Well, so is every facet, so is every element of the infrastructure. I've been working with various churches for weeks now, going through a variety of business dealings. And I pray and I remind them all that it is very sacred when we're coming together, whether we are discussing selling property, whether we are discussing other things of moving money and transferring money in the church, or various offices or various organization within the church, as I'm finding through dozens of churches, different challenges that we are facing that I'm helping them work through. It's all a very sacred task in discussing these things and deciding on these things. The support of the church is very important. The landscaping, I mean, literally mowing the grounds, is a sacred task. Uh, the function may not be as integral as others, but yet, in its function, it is very holy. And then the concluding portion of this chapter, the final 7 verses, is once more a commandment to keep the Sabbaths. You think that the Sabbaths are important. It shows up multiple times in the book of Exodus, lest they forget. Once more, remember the Sabbath. We've discussed the Sabbath. The Sabbath here is the great sign. It says, verse number 12, it's the sign between God and humanity, between his covenant people, more precisely. And so, as many other things as we choose to preach, we seldom do we ever talk about the Sabbath and its meaning and its sign between God and the covenant. But why do we neglect that? Because it doesn't seem to be thematically sexy as well as some other topics are. However, remember the Sabbath is not only a cool thing to do, but it is also part of the antithesis of God to that exploitive regime of Pharaoh, which overworked the people without giving them time off. God says, I'm going to show you what rest is. Your animals are going to rest. Your land's going to rest. Your slaves are going to rest. Everybody is going to rest. It goes back to the creation event of Genesis. There, it's very much in Genesis at creation, as I have articulated many times. The construction there is a temple, is a tabernacle, the portal, the meeting place between the heavens and the earth, where God is going to dwell. And on the seventh day, when he rested in his creation, there. It was the first of the Sabbath, the forerunner, the antecedent of the Sabbath. Here, on the heels of this construction of the tabernacle, its function, its priesthood, and all of that, is this Sabbath command. Why? Because one is inevitably embedded and overlaps into the other. Where there is going to be this portal, this meeting place of the heavens and the earth, there is also going to be this concept of Sabbath rest. Oh, okay. Well, it's 8 minutes in. I hinted, I teased you at a shorter video today, and so I'll cut it off here, and I'll meet you again tomorrow for day 32. Thank you, everyone.